you should overthrow your country. It's bad because in China we don't have to pay for our housing or food.
Yes.
When we're old, we have Medicare taken care of. Everything's
Got good
taken care of.
social programs, which isn't true.
China doesn't have social programs.
Yeah.
It's a
Please.
cutthroat,
Yeah.
poor
Don't listen
capitalistic society.
to people that are uneducated and have seen something on Red Note or something, because in reality it's very difficult. That's why the family unit is so important in China. That's why your parents come and live with you when you get married.
Correct.
Okay, it's very difficult. You have to rely on your family as your retirement, basically.
Yes. The government
Okay?
does not take care of it.
China versus
And
China.
how about this? This is legitimate
asked for
propaganda
it.
that's going around
Knowledge
these
is
days, and it
power.
says having 3 children is good.
Yes.
Right? Then the state doesn't have to care for you when you're old.
Literally says that.
That's what it
三个孩
says.
子就是好，
Yeah.
不用国家来养老。
Yes. Don't need
So-
a young those lao. You know what I'm
Look,
saying?
this banner's across the whole country, by the way. It's
Yes.
on old style propaganda where it's on paint. It's on new style banners. It says have 3 kids now.
Yes.
Trying to get rid of the one child policy. Have 3 kids now because then the state won't have to raise you.
That's correct. Which is in complete contrast to what was up a few years ago.
Yes.
You know.
We literally thought this was fake.
Yes, we thought this was
We had
nonsense.
to- but then we started seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, we started
on
to
the
look it up.
Chinese internet.
Yeah, and the banners are appearing all over China, so it's real propaganda. So here it is, like again outside a school, I think, or some kind of government building. But basically, what they're trying to tell you is like, well, you don't even need to put a burden on the state if you've got 3 kids. You don't need to
Yes.
worry about the state looking after you because it won't anyway. You know what it really annoys me about this, right? Is it just proves how crappy the Chinese government is. It thinks that people in China cannot think for themselves. They have to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Right? Because it was only a couple of years ago when I first got to China, they still had the one-child policy.
Yes.
And they still had the one-child policy propaganda. There were still murals up on buildings saying having one child is glorious. You know?
Yeah.
And showing the stupid thing about like a family in the park with a camera and stuff to show that you can be wealthy if you only have one child, you know?
Yeah.
Or wealthier. That
It
is
shows you that it's like a switch that you
yeah.
turn on and off.
Just showing you that this is widespread around the country. It's not just one instance of one banner that was printed out. It is all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like having 3 children is good, then the state will not have to take care of you.
When
you
you're
know,
old.
when you're old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to fires, but hang on a second. This is not like the usual fires. Don't worry, you're not going to see, what's his name? Huo Guo Pengwang. Okay. There's something else going on here. Solar panels are causing fires. Because of the photovoltaic inverter thingy.
Yeah, the box thing.
The converter thingy, you know what I'm talking about. Anyone who
Chinese
knows about
solar
solar?
technology is very safe and high quality. Leader of the world.
Quality. Yeah.
Quality.
But basically,
If you know, you know.
you've got your solar panels, then you've got like a little inverter box thingy on the back of the solar panel, and then the cables go down to your battery and all that other stuff, okay, which is separate. So, you know, you don't have the batteries aren't up on the roof, but whatever that, the electronic package that's on the back of the solar panels, there have been quite a few of them catching on fire, as you can see, which is quite concerning. Especially when you consider that China brags about having, you know, like, the best solar, you know, in the world, or the most amount of solar in the world. Don't know about you, but I wouldn't feel very happy if I found out I've got a cheap Chinese solar panel on my roof right now.
Yeah. Or a inverter box or
Yeah.
any components, really.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a good point, isn't it?
But you've seen these, yeah, you can see it here as well. You've seen these big, like, fields of solar panels
Yeah.
where they put them on mountains and
Yeah.
stuff in China, right? They're always lauded as being so incredible and, like, ahead and forward-thinking. Yeah. But there's an issue. Just because you make the most of something doesn't mean you're a leader or the best at something.
I think this is the poetic example of that.
Yeah.
Because that's the most.
Yeah, you can make the most of something.
Worst. You can make the most of something, and it's probably the worst of something.
Yeah, so I just want to give an analogy here. If you have 2 bakeries next to each other,
Yes.
one builds artisanal cakes and, you know, it takes like maybe a day for them to make one cake, but it's really nice and
Yeah.
the best ingredients and it always turns out good.
Yeah.
And you've got one next to it that just pumps them out, like low quality, crappy cakes that are like rock hard and they're dry and they don't taste good, but you know, they're still a cake. That's a good analogy when how China approaches almost every single industry.
Right. The cakes suck.
Yes.
But there's a lot of them.
But they look nice. It's got a good glaze on it.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
in China.
Exactly. It looks. It's the same with like solar panels and stuff. They'll be like, we're the world leader in solar panel production. Yeah, sure, but they're not great, are they?
Quantity over quality.
You know, that type of thing. That's just a quick analogy. But anyway, just to show you that these things are not exactly the safest thing in the world.
Leader of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we have had some more ruination, by the way, but it has been another week of fires as usual.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you like.
No, I mean this is starting to become like a stuck record. It's like every week you're like, oh look, here's a bunch of fires in China. Oh, take a look, another factory or another. This is a bridge on fire.
Yeah, a lot of infrastructure on fire. We've seen multiple ones of these.
This is another fire waterfall. It happens on
Dude,
bridges.
it's pretty amazing. Do we see that?
Yeah.
It's these fire waterfalls.
It's usually a truck carrying chemicals that catches fire that causes this.
Oh, it makes it sound like you're trying to like downplay. Oh, it's just that.
Yeah, it's just a truck
It's just
spilling
a truck
noxious chemicals that like, you got fire waterfall.
Oh, it's just that.
Yeah, that's all.
Oh, no big deal.
No big deal. Okay, but
there is some serious ruination going down.
yes. Do you have the clip of the workers on the roof? Okay, because that
Kind of like fiddlers on the roof.
that should
that's
probably
after this.
it's after this.
Yes.
Okay, I thought we were going to play that before.
Either
All
way.
right. Well, this is Beijing Nanjan. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, it means Beijing South Station. What happens in the Chinese Constitution if you have a gripe? If like, your rights are being trampled on, the local governments come and like, I don't know, demolished your house without you asking, or...
So remember, China on the Freedom House scale is 8 out of 100, right? It's one of the worst countries in the world. However, in the Chinese Constitution,
Yes.
by comparison, America's 84 out of 100, by the way.
Yeah.
Just in case you've been watching Red Note too much. I don't want to get tricked.
Yeah, sure.
I did see a video pop up on my feed today that said China's like, this American found out China's truly like free or something. Anyway, 8 out of 100. If you go, or if you have a problem with the government in China, technically in the Constitution it says you can go physically.
Yes.
You have to go physically.
You physically.
Physically go to the People's Hall in Beijing.
Yes.
And you petition your gripe. So let's say a factory's polluting your town and everyone got cancer. Happens every day.
Sure.
Let's say a bridge collapsed in your city and your family died.
Yes.
Let's say you think the government should relax regulations on certain things. You technically can take this petition and go, knock, 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 People's Hall. I want to talk to the government, file this petition. And that is a Soviet rule, by the way.
Yeah.
This is a copy of a Soviet rule. It's the idea that it's a people's government, the People's Republic of China, so therefore you can address your problems to the government directly. You don't need to go through bureaucracy like in these other democratic countries, right? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
In fact, it is so illegal off paper
Yes.
to do this that you will destroy your life if you do this.
Oh, yeah, it'll affect your social credit score.
So when I translated the social credit score documents, the first ones, the one that was put up by Rongjiang, a city that we actually visited, it's a model communist city in northern China. Fascinating place. Very
If you like-
potty mouth old ladies that shuck oysters.
Well, I'll tell you one thing though, like it's a model of what? Concrete? Anyway, sorry.
Rongjiang had the first documents of the social credit system, so I translated them. One of the most heinous crimes that actually takes your base score of 1,000, drops you down. So
Yeah.
your kids can't go to school. You can't get any social
You
programs.
can't buy a
if those
high-speed
exist.
rail ticket.
You can't buy high-speed rail tickets. You got to take the slow train with all the other peasants. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
One of the biggest things that contributes to your score dropping is if you go to petition to Beijing, something in the Constitution.
Yeah.
It says if you exercise your right, your score in life will drop.
Yeah.
You're done.
Well, here's the thing. People still do it because, I mean, you've got this propaganda blasted down your ears and your throat every day in China saying, you have the right. We have a constitution. You can petition the government. Our government's fair. If you do try to go and petition the government, they know about it because you would have talked about it with your friends or you would have, probably contacted the government or something.